Hi there, welcome to our channel. I'm Vic.
I'm Nick.
And we're NV Board Gaming. And today we're looking at Trailblazer, the John Muir Trail. This is a game designed by Dan R. Rice III and published by Mariposa Games. It's for 1 to 4 players. Nick is going to go through how you play, and then we're going to give our reviews.
Hey everyone, welcome to the trail. We are set up here. I'm just going to set up for for 1 player, so you're going to see the point of view of the green player there. We'll just talk through this game, the gist of how it plays, go through some actions. I think the easiest way for me to explain the game will be to simply run through our overview here. So you can see the game is divided into 3 phases. We have the sunrise, the daytime, and the sunset. On the sunrise, you're going to draw and place a weather token. So first thing we're doing is drawing one of these and seeing what kind of weather we get. Here we have a very hot day, so it's going to require an additional water resource to move along the trail. So we're going to put this on day 1, and this will act as a round tracker as well, because the game is going to be played in 12 days, which is 12 rounds. So we did that first. Then we're going to draw and play a trail card. So we start the game with 3 trail cards right here. And we're going to go ahead and draw one, and then we're going to play one of these. Now these come with the green color here, and also these obstacles, which are red colors. The greens are very simple. You're going to get a token right here from in your pack. So this hammock, I would search through my stack, pull out that item, and put it at the bottom left of my backpack right there. So now I have this resource, as well as I get this bonus wind element as well. So I would grab that and put it in my supply. And I should have an extra fire token there as well. Just to give a heads up, I get a certain amount of these resources just to start the game. So this would give me an additional one of those if I played that. So I'm just picking which one I want to play. Unlike these, this is considered a prerequisite here. You don't gain this. You have to have this in order to play, in order to get this, because these bonuses are slightly better usually to get. So these, you don't acquire this to your bag, you just have to have that. That's the only difference. So you play that out, that's going to be what you do. Next is where the bulk of the game takes place, in the daytime. You are going to resolve actions on your workers. So we start the game with 3 of these boots here, which you can call workers. You're placing them out and doing different actions. So I can just run through those really quick. We have several actions that are pretty basic. So we have just getting these natural resources. We got the water, the earth, wind, we got fire. So you're going to put it on any of these, and there's a number at the very bottom right of each of these that indicate how many of those resources you get. So in this case, water, well, it is descend. So 4, 3, 2, 1. So if I go here, I can get 4 water from the supply and put it in my area right there. If I go here, 3, 2, and 1. Fire being the hardest to get, because you only get 1 when you go there. In a 2-player game and a 3-player game, there's only 1 spot for each of those. In a 4-player game, there's 2 spots, and it says that on the board. Another action you can do, you can go up here, and it shows that you can draw 2 cards. And these 2 cards are what you've seen already. However, when you do that action, you just get what is showing right here. So in this case, I would get these 2 resources. 1 for my personal, 1 for the element right here. You can see there's different areas for those. Actually, those are both standard resources up here. Okay, so I would just get those. That's my turn. These are discarded. We have some actions over here at the High Sierra Lodge that are not available until you reach step 4 on this track, and we're going to go over that track in shortly. We got some spots here we can acquire cards. 1 card is cut off on the screen. It is this one right here, but there are 5. So you're going to pick one of these if you would like, and you can go ahead and run across one of these. So you see a Stellar's Jay, this blue jay looking one. You would put your worker here if you wanted to collect that. That's the cost, in this case 2 water, and you would put this in your supply. You get this token, you would put it on your backpack. Again, this goes from left to right, up or down to up. When you fill out a row, you're going to get another resource right there. Another, this one actually be better, the personal resources. And then 2 personal resources and this little objective we can go over in a sec. So you're going to get this one right here. You can look for that. There it is. Just slot it right there. And you're going to get one of these of your choice. There's also going to be some set collection at the end of the game. You want different types of these cards. So I can put that in my queue and look for others later. and this would just go here. It does not get replenished until the end of the round. Okay, that is this. Here, once it's available, you can simply go there and get the resources that it shows. It has a 3, 2, 1, 1, and 1. These are hardship tokens. You get those. It'll look like a plus with a line through it. You'll get those hardship tokens when you cannot fulfill something, let's say. If you couldn't fulfill a food or water requirement, or you couldn't fulfill your hike, you will get these hardship tokens, which are negative points in the game. There's one spot here that lets you get rid of those hardship tokens. There are also some cards here that will also help you get rid of tokens. Another thing you can do is you can do a discovery. We have landmarks over here. We can pull one away. This also has a set collection element to it. We have this one that will give me that same hammock. However, if I went for this one, because I already have that resource, I increase my elevation. Instead of collecting it, if I already have it, I get to increase my elevation, this elevation chart. Right now, we're at no elevation. No one's at any elevation right now. So I can put that there, and I'm now on the board because I did that action that gave me that when I already had it. Okay? There are good reasons to go up on this chart because they give you instant bonuses. So then I have to pay all these resources, and I'll get this many victory points. I also have this symbol that may be used later. Okay, and that will automatically replenish. As soon as we get far enough, on this board, it'll actually change to the color of the card that you're going to get. So right when someone triggers that, it advances far enough, those will be removed from the game, and a different color icon will be added. And there's always going to be 3 cards out there. They instantly replenish when somebody takes one. So these actions are the ones I was talking about, getting those. And then if I want to hike, I can go here with since I'm the green player, I put my shoes right there, and I can move 1 step. Now to do that, we know that we have to spend this today. If we want to do it, we have to spend 1 extra water. So I have to spend 1 water, and then we have this pack right here that says when we want to get to step 1 in the trail, we have to spend this resource. Everyone has similar ones of these, so they're just in different order. So I have to spend 1 of these tree resources and a water token and a worker here in order to move to step 1 of the trail on the Yosemite National Park. Then this will flip, and then next round, because you cannot move more than once anytime in a round on the trail. Next round, if I want, this is what's going to cost me to move. It's going to cost me the wind and the tree as well. By the end, which is the 10th step, which is required, you have to do all 10. If you do not do all 10 steps, you will not be able to win, period. By the 10th step, you're actually going to have to spend 2 workers to do that, and the icon, and if there's any condition. That is not the endgame trigger. That is only determines if you're even allowed to win. There will also be different little chips that come out that are out here at the start of the game. I didn't put them out, but there will be another thing that you owe. We just don't have them out there. It could be food. When it gets down to the green area, it's usually one of your personal supply, and then natural resources when you get there. Or I think they're actually often they're packs, so you have to have this as a prerequisite. If it showed a hammock out there, I'm good because I have a hammock. I don't spend it, but I have to have it. So often these white ones are prerequisites. Okay, that about covers the rules. So now let's go over some nitty-gritty stuff. First one that complete this will get 5 points. First one that, if anyone, gets up to the very peak of the Mount Whitney, you're going to go ahead and get 7 points if you're the first one. If you were to keep advancing, you get 1 point for every time you advance. Also, you get these rewards at the bottom. So there could be, there's these little tokens that are 2 points right here. You'll get that. You'll get an extra worker, which I have out here, if you were to get that far on the peak. If I were to get here, then you get to pick one of these arrowheads. So whichever one you think you're doing best in, and they're going to give you little rewards for how well you did. There's also a shared one at the end for everyone's getting, and it's a 2 times multiplier. Whichever one is randomly out there is going to get 2 victory points times 2, because it's a 2 times multiplier since it's the public objective. This one we're scoring regardless if you took any of these. Everyone's scoring this. So it's essentially you're going to get 4 points for each medallion you collect. So that even includes the first player token. I haven't played with this one yet. So the first player token itself is 4 points. All of them are 4 points. So you're going to essentially claim one of these, whichever one you like, and then another one will be revealed. And there are other spots that you can claim up to 3 of those. All right. At the end of a round, once everyone has gone ahead and played all their workers out, all 3 of their workers that they start with. Again, you can get up to 5 workers if you are high enough in this elevation chart. But once you're done with all your workers, we're going to go to sunset. This is when your hiker is going to consume food and water. You're going to owe 1 food and 1 water, and that is from your personal supply. So 1 food and 1 water must be spent. If you cannot do that, you will you'll get a hardship token, which is a lot of negative points at the end. The more you have, the worse, obviously. So one thing I'll mention is that in this game, these water bottles, you can use 2 natural resource waters to create 1 water bottle. That's the only little thing that you can remember to do. So if you're out of them, you would still be okay if you have these 2, which are the easiest to get in the game because you can get 4 just by going here. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to now pull back all of the boots, all the ones that we placed on the board. We're going to retrieve them. We're going to refresh the field guide cards here. We're going to resolve the first light medallion. Now, the first light medallion is not out here, but there's a spot right here. You can go there, and it's actually going to get a water at the end of every round. It's going to get a water, a natural resource water. It'll have one of these, and it'll keep growing in order for that to accrue to a point where somebody wants to go there. When you do go there, you're guaranteed you're the first player next round, and you're getting all the water that is left there. And then you're going to pass the Trailblazer medallion. So that would be the first player marker. If nobody took the first light medallion, then it's just going to go in clockwise order to the next player. That's going to get the first player. If somebody did take that, then they're the first player. You're going to play this 12 rounds, signified by the weather right here. It's going to play all 12 rounds. There's no early endgame trigger. And that is how you play Trailblazer, the John Muir Trail.
All right. Thank you, Nick, for the overview of how you play Trailblazer, the John Muir Trail. We'll just get right into our review. We like to break it out by topic. So we'll start with the flow of the game. How did it flow?
Pretty smooth. There's nothing too complex here. Nothing that feel like, oh, you can't do that unless you do this, or there's not like a bunch of caveats and all kinds of stuff like that.
Right.
I feel like it was pretty smooth. How about you?
Yeah, the only thing was forgetting to maybe make the feeding them in the water, getting rid of that.
Just not going through those steps?
Yeah,
okay.
But you know what? Once we got the hang of it, the changeover from round to round and the turns were pretty snappy, and
yeah.
I didn't think there was, I think that it flowed quite nicely.
Yeah, that's a pro to this game.
Downtime. Well, I just said it. I felt like the time spent during each player's turn was pretty quick. You do have to wait. It's not as everybody acting all at the same time for most of the game. So I didn't think the downtime was awful, though.
No, I can't think of anything that takes overly long for a player. We have only played it at 2, so there is that. So it could be maybe a little bit worse, obviously, at 4, like most games would be for downtime if you're not doing anything simultaneous. So but I'm going to say no, the downtime's not an issue here.
Yeah. So mechanics of the game, there's worker placement in this.
Set collection, resource management is pretty heavy here. I think everything works pretty well. It feels like maybe a step up. Like if you're introducing people to games, this would maybe be right a step up above a very basic worker placement.
There's also the tracks that you're trying to ascend. I don't know what that mechanism is called, but there are 2 tracks with the
tracks,
elevation and then also the trail itself. And then that's a prerequisite and you have to get down to the bottom in order to win. If you don't get there, you can't win.
You can't win, right?
So that's an interesting concept. It's one I've seen before, but I also But I like it. I kind of enjoy that because at the end of your, in the back of your mind that's something you're going to have to do. And so you've got to have some planning. On doing that. And then the weather makes it interesting because you can gamble and say, oh, it's been sunny a few days now. Is it going to be not sunny when I really need to do a step forward on the trail?
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that the mechanics are fairly interesting and easy enough to pick up on that I don't think it's too complex for most new to the hobby players.
Yeah, I think it's good in the resource management here. The worker placement's good too. So I like the mechanics.
The randomness. Well, you obviously have some cards for both the landscapes that you have out there, and then those other sets that you're collecting.
Yeah, the trail,
Mhm.
like the discovery stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know remember all the names.
Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, the that's gonna be obvious. That's gonna be random because they're just card draws. You top deck a certain amount.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean the randomness is gonna be there. It's a card draw, but it's not a crazy random like a dice roll or anything like that.
Right, and I think in terms of getting the stuff you need to do things, there are a lot of ways. Like, oh, you can pay 2 of the natural water to make up for the bottled water that you need, something like that. There seems to be a lot of ways that you can get the things you need. I
Yeah,
never felt like,
there
oh,
is.
I'm doomed, and I
Yeah,
didn't get what I needed.
occasionally there's not what you need, but in general there are ways to get around it. Like you said, there's gonna be certain instances you just can't do exactly what you want or
Yeah,
get exactly the right gear because it might just not might be
or
available.
someone took a spot, or yeah.
Yeah, but in general, I think you have a lot of options.
Hmm. Replayability, I think it's high. I think the fact that there's different cards that come out, I mean, you are going to be doing the same thing. So that is one thing that can deduct, I guess, from the replayability. But for me, I don't mind if you're doing the same thing each time you play. The fact that you're going to maybe try different paths to win. I don't know. What do you think?
I think this one is somewhere in the neutral because I can feel I want to come back to this game. I just don't feel like I immediately want to come back to it.
Right.
Like it's not one of those games like Earth, let's say, where
Mm-hmm.
right when you're done, you want to play it again. I don't feel that with this one, but I feel like at least I want to play it again. It's just not one that is going to get tabled and then left there to play again in general.
Yeah.
In our case, we did it because we want to review it, but when we were done, it's like let's revisit that in the future. Because it's
Mm-hmm.
still it's replayable.
Yeah, and I think I can see what you mean about that, and maybe I misspoke on like very high replayability, but I just think that how quick it goes by, it just seems that the turns between us it flowed so nicely that I can see it being very approachable in that regard.
We're going to skip scalability because
Hmm.
we played it too. So we're going to go to the table size. Or I'm going to touch on the scalability a little later on something else I want to say.
Okay,
So table size is that table hog? Do you think?
I didn't think it was that bad. What did you
Yeah,
think?
I think it was average for a game. Yeah,
Yeah,
uh, I'm going to score this neutral as well. It wasn't
yeah,
a small game, but it wasn't crowded either. So I'll score neutral.
yeah. We had a big table, so that also helps us sometimes. If we had seen it on a smaller table, that might change our opinion, but.
Theme is strong. It's all about a specific trail. It's not just nature. It's a specific trail. It has the landmarks. It has beautiful art. It has the hikers. It has the places you're visiting. You're discovering
The
along the way. The
weather.
weather that you
Hmm.
encounter, and then based on that weather, it might be harder to accomplish different things. You might have to spend more water when it's hot, and so forth, or something to strap on when it's windy, and
Yeah.
yeah. So I think the theme is a big plus.
Hmm. I think so too. I like it, and I always like the nature animal games. I enjoy that. I'm not a huge theme person, but I do like that. The table presence kind of goes with the theme and the nice art. I think it has a good table presence. It's not, the most stunning game I've ever seen, but it's nice.
Definitely high end because of Andrew Bosley's art really lifts this up table presence wise. Even the inside of the box, just when you open the box, you see the box, you see the inside of the box has beautiful art, and all these things just splashed all over different beautiful art. And that table presence is derived from that for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a beautiful game. Components, I thought that they were pretty good quality. Standard. No, we didn't get anything too wild with them, right?
Yeah, this for it being a Kickstarter game, I would say the components were a little underwhelming. I mean, it was nice we had the boots that were wooden, but everything else was cardboard. I thought maybe we would get better than that. That felt like retail version. That's
Hmm.
okay. It's still. I mean, it's above average. It's just when you kickstart something, and you might expect a little bit more. That's all.
Right. And the price and value, as Nick mentioned, this was a Kickstarter game. Uh, we, I don't know how long we waited for this game to come, but
Price and value.
what do you think?
Um, if I remember how much I paid and how much is going to be
I didn't
retail,
ask you that. I tried to
yeah,
think of something
I
else
know,
to
but if
ask
I
you.
knew what I paid and then what is it going to be retail, I don't know either of those things. So what would I put it at? This version, the Kickstarter version, what is it worth? I think because of all the art, and you have to take that into account, all this unique art that goes into it, I think it's a $60 game.
Yeah, I could see that. I would pay 60, 50, $60.
Okay.
And I think that's a fair price for it. Setup time.
I'm trying to recall a big issue. There's no big issue with this. you're putting out cards. You have the tokens ready. I don't have a big issue. You have your own those tracks, those 10 steps on your tracks that you have. That's unique to you, which is interesting. That's already put together. You just grab one and throw it.
And you don't have that many pieces with your color. Like you
Right.
don't have that many things to hold on to.
No, not really. So setup time is a pro.
Yeah. The game length, I can't remember.
I think it's a negative. This is the biggest negative for me.
Oh.
I think it overstays its welcome.
Too many rounds?
Yeah, I think 9 rounds feels right. 12 rounds is much. Even a 2-player game is like I'm losing interest at about 9. After about 9, I would say. So for me, this is the biggest negative in the game. What holds it back the most for me is the game length. For what this game is doing, a simple worker placement game, it is taking a little too long to get to the finish. That's how I felt in this game. Yeah, it says it can go up to 2 hours on the back of the box. I'd assume that's probably they're saying that's for a 2-player game, or sorry, 4-player game. I felt we were doing an hour and a half at 2, and we were going fast. We were fast, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. It still felt like an hour and a half.
That's what I was going to ask you, if you remembered how long it actually took us. Yeah.
So I don't know if I felt like either way. That's not a great thing. If it felt like an hour and a half,
long because I remember thinking we have another round, like there's another day, and I'd look and I'd go, oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, either way that's a negative to me. If it felt too long or it was too long, that's kind of either way. It's like, yeah, that's got to be a negative then.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it because I like to have extra rounds, and anytime that they end at 9, I'm like, well, I could have used 12.
All right, complexity. Let's move on.
No, not complex, but fun, engaging, and that you have to think about getting the resources that you need. Maybe which landscapes you want to fill out, what objectives you're going to go for. But it's not. I would say it's not a light game. It's a medium game.
It's a light to medium game. Yeah. That's the way I'd describe it. It's not overly complex, but the game doesn't play itself, which it could. These type of games could play themselves. Yeah. Like, no kidding, I'm getting water right now. No, this game doesn't play itself. It leaves you with decisions, which is so important that you're not just going through motions here. And it's like, oh, well, obviously I'm doing this. Yeah. And then it's just no enjoyment out of it. This game does have decisions all the time, which is excellent.
Yeah. So is it fun?
Is it fun? Yeah, I think the game's fun. I do.
I like it.
Yeah, and I feel like it's one that I would gladly bring out to a company, show them, even fairly newer gamers. I have no problem explaining this game to them. I think they'll grasp it. I hear there's a new one in the works that adds more. That will probably be more up my alley as far as complexity and things going on. I heard that from Billy Indiana, our friend who has a channel on here, that game, he got the demo it, and it was really intriguing. Wow. So I'm definitely interested in that as well. Yeah. But this one here, fun.
Fun for sure. My score for it's probably going to be higher than yours.
Okay.
I gave it an 8-4. 12 days or 12 rounds for the win.
Yeah? Yeah. All right. Well, I'm docking it, but I'm still giving it a good score of 8. I'm still at round 8. Okay. So, because it's fun. It's fun.
I thought you'd be 7-4.
Okay. No, the decisions are good enough. It's fun enough. The only kind I really had was the components were a little bit lacking for a Kickstarter, not for a retail. Yeah. And it took a little longer than I would like for this type of game. That's all. So 8.
Yeah. So that's our overview and review of Trailblazer, the John Muir Trail. We hope that you enjoyed this review. If you did, please click the like, thumbs up, and subscribe for more great reviews. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.